Hey, Travis Wingoodsell. This could be a closing video for the day. We'll see. Unless there's more breaking news that must be covered before I go to bed. I've noticed growing up in the church that when people criticize the church, I didn't realize that there's different criticisms being made against the church. And it's not until I did my own research into church history 3 years ago that I caught on to that. Mormons assume that the current church not only is a true succession from Joseph Smith, but that it's the same exact church. Same doctrine, theology, etc. And it's not. Not even the temple rituals are the same. Joseph only had washing and anointings. That was it. It was Brigham Young who made it necessary for Mormons to go through an endowment ceremony and make covenant oaths of loyalty before completing your endowment. And as a result, when we do our genealogy for our deceased ancestors, we have to go through the endowment ritual for each and every single ancestor. And that's not necessary. It's not needed. Has nothing to do with the original temple ceremony rituals of Joseph Smith. And I never knew until I finally did the research. And so when people criticize the current church, oh, you're racist, oh, you're bigoted against LGBTQ, oh, you're sexist against women, not letting women have the priesthood or letting women play more of a leadership role. And Mormons don't understand that the reasons why Christians go after the church for that is because Christianity had found out about Genea, and an apostle equal on par with Paul. And so the whole concept that the church tries to present that women are never to have priesthood office, no, there's no basis for it. You have Romans 16 that has Genea, it has Phoebe the deacon, not a slave, that's a mistranslation, and other prominent women listed in that chapter. And so if the church is going to claim, which that wasn't Joseph's claim, he was going for the ancient Egyptian original church rather than the Gospels church. But Mormons claim we're a restoration of the Gospels church. Well, then you got to give women the priesthood. If you claim to be the Egyptian church, well, you also have to give women the priesthood. It just doesn't hold any water to claim patriarchal supremacy over women. And so a big difference between the two organizations. And yet Mormons get suckered in to a debate about Joseph Smith to justify the current church, and not realizing that all they're doing is supporting the original church, not the current church. And if critics of the church understood this and then interrogated Mormons on that basis and understanding, oh, you could slam Mormons big time. Well, now Joseph had name of God was this, and you call him this? Well, Joseph had this ritual in the temple, and now you are doing this. and Joseph's doctrine was this, and you're now saying it's this, and so on, and so on, and so on. Yeah, Mormons would go crazy, because they are not taught. And in this age of computer Google searching, the church is not able to keep up with the instant access to references that back in my day as a kid growing up, I didn't have. And so it was a matter of me knowing the scriptures in print and being able to discuss it that way, whereas other people, they didn't bother. The majority of people, even in critic circles, didn't bother. They just heard somebody say something, or they saw the movie The God Makers, went, oh, okay, cool, I can go and attack Mormons now. And so Mormons were more easily able to fend off critics before the internet. But now with the internet, the church is getting their butt spanked. And massive exodus has occurred of activity, and the new conversion rate is shrinking drastically, and before coronavirus. And so the church is collapsing because they didn't prepare sufficiently to prepare Mormons sufficiently for the age of the computer. They had the computer program. They sort of gave up on that by going to the website, but the website just doesn't have the capacity that this computer scripture program does. And they sort of blew it in that respect. They went backwards with their online thing because their search engine is crap. I want to type in Benson and pregnancy is an abominable sin, and I won't be able to find it. Unless I know the specific source, which was his first general conference as president of the church in April of 1986. See, otherwise, I would never be able to find it through the church's search engine. YouTube is a little more friendly, but they use an algorithm that ranks things according to the programmer of the algorithm. So if the church does not want certain LDS critics to be top on the list of a search engine, all they have to do is say, hey, we invest in you, shut this guy down. And it is done. By your command. Battlestar Galactica. Or the temple, return and report. We have done as thou hast commanded, and have. So, yeah, that's the thing Mormons don't understand. And what they also don't understand is what they're attacking me for. Mormons attack me for disagreeing with the current church, when what I'm doing is saying, hey, this isn't Joseph's church. And so when Mormons attack me, I just throw back at them, you're denouncing the Book of Mormon, you're denouncing Joseph Smith. And they're like, no, I'm not. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So it's a situation where Mormons are their days are over. not just because of the lawsuit that the Attorney General is investigating and is publicly saying, you know what, there might be something to this sedition thing that Travis has. So, yeah, it's just that the news thinks that it's related to another investigation that they're going to drop the bombshell right before the election. But like I said, no. It could be part of that. It could feed into that. But no, my case is purposely delayed. There's been no decision made, and it's been a week now. I'll check after midnight again, because that's how they do it. They shut off the site at noon, and so I can't find out what was submitted after noon and before 4:30 until after midnight the next day. But if I'm correct that they are following the law and having recommended my case to the Attorney General, who is then supposed to review it and make a decision as to whether he's going to proceed with a special investigation or just go straight to prosecution of a criminal or civil claim himself, bypassing me if they find that my complaint has merit and they find other stuff or know of other stuff without an investigation. So yeah, that's the whole point of my complaint, is that the previous lawsuit I filed, nobody followed the law. So right from the beginning, they're making the attempt to follow the law, as the first judge recused himself, and now it's been over a week before they've even allowed it to proceed. So there is merit to it because the evidence is the previous case. And Judge Waddups was claiming that my case did not have merit previously because it's an ad hominem. Complaining about the church is an ad hominem argument. I was attacking their character. Paying somebody to have me disappeared is an ad hominem argument. Covering it up after I told the federal judge is an ad hominem argument. Seriously? You're going to run with that? No. So, yes, Waddups is involved in the complaint as committing an act of sedition against the United States of America, belonging to an organization that is a terrorist organization from the earliest days of the United States of America. So, and I've been going over that in my playlist. So, alrighty, there's nothing I can say for Mormons. Mormons did the minimal work throughout their life. They memorized scripture masteries, maybe. They maybe were obedient and did the I'm reading my scriptures every day, I'm praying on every day, I'm going to church every day. That does nothing for you. That's not going to save you. Mormons don't understand that. Those are to obtain seed, to use Alma 32 verse 28. We will liken the word unto a seed. Well, you have to first get the word before you can find out the truth, because the word tells you what could or could not be true. You have to then find out. So first you have to obtain the word. And Mormons don't get that. They think that when the Spirit tells them something, they now have the word. They now have the knowledge, or the truth, or the knowledge. They don't understand it's just the word. And that's what you pray, read your scriptures, go to church for, is to get the word. But, oops. Alrighty. I heard California was having rain. Well, it was obviously going to cause a lot of mudslides, but it'd be nice to get rain here. Clear out the air for me.